call the Instructional Committee meeting of the United Independent School District Board of Trustees to order. The following board members are present: Frank Castillo, Javier Montemayor. Let the record show that this meeting has been duly called and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act. Agenda item number 1, public comments.
We have none at this time.
Agenda item number 2, informational items. A, HEB announces UIDs and excellence in education school district.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Montemayor, Mr. Castillo, Mr. Gonzalez, and members of the audience. It is with great pleasure and it's such an honor that United ISD is once again nominated by HEB for the Excellence in Education Award. They have chosen 5 districts, in 5 large districts in Texas, and United ISD is one of them. The winners will be announced at the HEB Excellence in Education Award ceremony on April 30th in Austin, Texas. The winning large school district will be awarded $100,000 along with this prestigious award. HEB, in cooperation with Texas Association of School Administrators, launched this program in 2002 as a positive way to support public education in Texas. And it has become the largest monetary program for educators in the state, spotlighting best practices and celebrating the passion and creativity of Texas educators. Site visits will be conducted to determine the winners, and United ISD will be visited on March 28, 2022. Judges will visit 2 secondary campuses to conduct classroom visits and observe students in action and witness our rigorous curriculum that is student-centered with active and project-based learning at its core. An interview with the superintendent will follow the campus visits, and a working lunch and meeting will be held with campus and district personnel to close out the visit. So we're very excited, real good news in the middle of everything else that has been happening, and we will be ready for HEB for the visit on March 28th.
Good deal.
This was a welcoming news to the district.
Yes.
It was very, very pleasant.
We've been there once before.
2019 years, sir.
I guess runner-up. We didn't win. We were top 5.
We were top 5 as well.
So it's a big deal, and actually this is, in my opinion, this is more of a reflection of what the team of employees, teachers, and staff have contributed. So this is their hard work.
Absolutely.
And we just go and pick up the trophy for them, but this is actually their recognition.
Absolutely.
Mr. Montemayor, you are correct, but none of that will fall without support of the board. And this being a National Board Appreciation Month, I will tell you this, and don't count yourself out, because we would not be able to do the district without support that we can get from the board members. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. So agenda item number 3, instructional items to be reviewed with recommendations for action at the next regular board meeting. A, approval of low attendance waivers for the week of January 10th, 2022, 10th to the 14th.
Good evening, members of the board. In reviewing last week's attendance, and I know your computer probably is going to be a little fuzzy, but just to give you a glimpse as to a percentage of attendance Monday, the 10th of January, that was at 79%. We had attendance on that particular day. On Tuesday, 80% attendance, looking at about 3,000 students absent. And then we continued on Wednesday, 78%, Thursday, 75%, and Friday, we were at 68%, close to 12,000 students absent. And so the state right now is saying that we can submit waivers for low attendance if there are 10 percentage points less than the 1920 first 4-6 weeks period, which averaged at 85.7%. So all of those would meet the requirements, so we would look at submitting waivers to the state for low attendance for last week's.
So the 1920,
first 4-6 weeks.
which is January through...
No, sir. It's August to
Okay, I'm sorry.
March,
2019?
Yes.
Well, then,
pre-COVID, right when COVID hit. So they did not count the last March and April. And
we should count from March through...
that was 100%. We were at 100%.
Well, yeah.
We all
We
remember
believe COVID-19 really wasn't, in play until March of 2019, January, but still, it really wasn't. So That's gonna be,
Yes, sir. I mean, so we're going to submit. Right now, the system is locked on TEA, so we cannot submit, but the moment hopefully that they will open, and unless we hear from the governor that they're going to hold harmless, we're ready to submit. So this is just to be ahead, and if need be, we're ready to go to submit. If not, if they give us the other news of hold harmless, then that's even better news for us. Okay. Thank you.
B, discussion regarding the potential memorandum of understanding between United ISD and the City of Laredo pertaining to Troutman Park.
Yes, from what I understand is that there has been discussions with the City of Laredo and the district regarding a potential MOU for Troutman Park, which is right there between Troutman Elementary, Troutman Middle on International Boulevard. I know Jaime from our office has been in negotiations with the city. There is a potential MOU on the plate, but there's kind of some differing, ways people are viewing as to whether or not this MOU should even be entered into. So Jaime, if you want to talk about what's on the MOU.
Yeah, correct. So, long story short, it would be, as it stands right now, and again, there's been no board action on this yet, but it would be for the city to go in and make improvements to the park. Certain improvements would not be allowed, for example, big barbecue pits and things that could be posing a danger to the property. But my understanding is the way it's written now is that the city would have access to the park after hours and on the weekends, which I believe is the current practice, if I'm not mistaken. But that's correct, Stephen.
Well, one of the issues that has come up frequently based on our discussions with members of administration and board members is that currently the MOU is allowed to members of the public, basically, the park is allowed to members of the public.
Right.
But if we enter into this MOU, it might hamstring the district in regards to what the district can do in the future with the development of that park.
Right.
So that's kind of one of the drawbacks to it, or potential drawbacks.
If I may, we would be able to terminate that MOU at our discretion, correct? At any time. There was no set date that we have to agree to. I believe that was one of the things that you and I
Yes, sir.
discussed before.
Yes, the term as it reads now would be 1 year, unless either party provides written notice to the other. That's favorable to the district.
So we could conceivably say, you know what, we're gonna use it for something else.
Yes, sir. Past the year, yes.
And as far as
As it stands right now.
as it stands right now, which is what I believe that would make it possible, that it maintain an educational reason for us to be present. Should I say that it would benefit the academics of both the Troutman Elementary and the Troutman Middle schools, because they could use it during the day, which it's ours anyway. They would use it and only allow the city, the public, the residents, the same families who send their kids to this school to use it at a different hour. Now, we could put the time from 5 p.m. when the school closes, or maybe everybody's gone home, to 10 p.m. or 9 p.m., whatever we decide to do. And I would say that's very doable, particularly since the improvements are going to be paid. The cost is going to go to the city with a full understanding that we can, at a moment's notice, 30-day notice, terminate it.
Now, that's one of the things that could get tricky is the investment by the city. It could maybe lead to some sort of encumbrance of the property down the road. Now, that's not a given or something that could possibly be contracted around, but any sort of major investment by the city in the park could lead to an issue further down the line. Just throwing it out there.
Well, we need to make sure that it's worded.
No, absolutely.
That this becomes our property whenever we terminate.
And it's still an evolving document. Neither party on either side has agreed to it.
That's why I'm offering that suggestion, that we had discussed this before, and I think, yeah, you were also present, but we were discussing, we're not going to give away anything that belongs to us. If they want to invest, they understand what they're gonna get into. If not, they're not gonna do it. That's my opinion.
Got it.
But quite frankly, I know that there had been some concerns before about the illegal drug use, illegal use of the property for purposes other than academics. Well, I think we're cutting ourselves short by saying that, because I don't believe that they would do that. But honestly, security and safety is always going to be present. As it is right now, we do it. But after hours, the city is going to be responsible, and we want to make sure that that's worded in any MOU,
Sure.
that they're responsible
Yes, sir.
for that. And so I think it's a win-win situation for us, not going to cost us anything. I'm in favor of it. And in regards to, sometimes I think we cut ourselves short. I was reviewing a report by our own SCAN program. It's not the Serving Children and Adults in Need, that they just finished making a report in fall of 2020 and spring of last year, 2021. It says that the only way we can solve issues like alcoholism, drug abuse, is that we collaborate with other agencies. And but frankly, I think our students are smart enough not to do that. I was looking at the report. Do you know which is the one drug that children want? They use? It's not heroin, it's not cocaine, it's alcohol.
Yeah, okay.
And I know it because I work at the juvenile department. That leads to marijuana possession. That's about as serious as it's gonna get. But we have that already in all our city parks.
Yeah.
And perhaps we even have it in our schools, because I see where these children bring that controlled substance into our schools. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see a downfall to this. It's being provided for us. I like it. I think it's doable. If we decide later we don't want it, we can say, bye. We can't do it. They invested, well, that's your loss, city. But I think we should collaborate with other governmental entities, and I'm voting in favor of this. Thank you.
But thank you for your guidance, and we will make those.
I've got a question. I'm sorry to interrupt. Sure. Before you were about to close, I could already hear the tone and said that. Okay, so what does the MOU say with regards to responsibility of security and cleanup and
As it stands right now, we have,
repair, more than anything, repairs and maintenance and everything like
here's the city's responsibility.
that after 5 o'clock?
Yes.
The only thing I want to know, because I want to know from the district, and perhaps you can put together your plan or whatever it is that we have. I know that Troutman Middle School is probably one of the only campuses that we have. Well, I think Washington, maybe another one, but one of the only middle schools that we have that does not have a field house for football. And that was one of the plans that I had asked the administration way back when, through Mr. Cruz, through Coach Cruz, to look at as far as development of a plan to include a field house and a football field there and things like that. And I was told some years back that there was a plan somewhere. So, I want to make sure that the city is aware that there is potential use in the near future of that park. And so, I know collaboration and joining of forces and funding is, between entities is kind of the new way of the world. Counties and school districts, cities and school districts, cities and counties, all doing joint projects together. I don't know if I know we've tried that with the county, this specific park.
Yes, sir.
And it didn't work out very well. I know we tried to work with the city when we were building the pool, and their funding never came through, and that dissolved as well. So the history that we have with the city, it's not necessarily the actual councilman, it's more the city administration has not been a very fruitful, we have not had fruitful results from them. So I just want to make sure that MOU indicates the responsibility part is very clear.
Absolutely. Yeah, from a legal perspective, it does.
Okay,
And that's our current draft. I'm not sure, I don't believe it has been presented to the city for their approval or to their attorney's office for review.
And I have talked to some of the district administration about their opinions, and I don't think it's going to be supported by the district administration, so it's just neither here nor there, but I just think that's where it's headed, but okay. All right, agenda number 4, adjournment. Any issues?
So,
We're adjourned.
second.
One second.